Hello everyone, Harry Baldock here, editor for Total Telecom. We're here on day one of Submarine Networks EMEA, and I'm joined by Geoff Bennett, Director Solutions and Technology at Infinera. Geoff, let's talk first about the trends today in the industry, the kind of overall health of the industry. What's your take on this?
Yeah, demand is so strong at the moment. In fact, a lot of the conversations in the sessions this morning were around the success of the industry in responding to the pandemic. The fact that, despite supply shortages, despite all the logistics issues of getting people on site because of COVID travel restrictions, we've been able to respond and deliver the capacity because, of course, everyone's suddenly using Zoom. Everyone's suddenly relying on messaging and bandwidth that they wouldn't normally do in that location. All the traffic patterns have changed. So I think the industry can give itself a pat on the back in terms of responding to that. Key question: have we put so much capacity into the system that we're now going to see a sort of pause? And certainly from reading the session this morning, reading the kind of reactions of everybody, no, we haven't got a risk of doing that. Demand is still going to continue to rise, we think.
Still plenty of work to be done. In terms of your own technology, of course, we've seen big leaps recently. The i6 transponders are showing some really impressive numbers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so i6 is our latest coherent transponder technology, and despite the name, it's actually a 5th generation technology. Somebody else named those generations. But what that means is it's up to 800 gigabits per second per wavelength, and it's got all the modern bells and whistles you'd expect. Extremely high baud rates, almost 100 gigabaud transmission rates, probabilistic constellation shaping, lots of tricks for extracting the maximum capacity from a cable. And not just cables like Maria and Dunant, which are very high quality transatlantic cables, but also legacy cables. We have hundreds of legacy cables around the world. If you think about it, it takes between 5 and 7 years from the first meeting to say, oh gosh, wouldn't it be a great idea to have a cable between here and here? 5 to 7 years before you actually can turn up the first services. So the idea of maximizing the capacity on existing legacy cables is very, very attractive. And i6 is delivering some incredible bandwidth increases on those cables.
We've mentioned that the capacity and the real demand is here to stay now. In terms of other trends in the industry, is there anything that's been particularly interesting to you over the last 6 months or so?
I think, and again, a big topic of conversation this morning was the demand in Africa. The fact that we're putting in, the industry is putting in 4 times more capacity into that continent with new cable systems. So that's a very, very bright spot in the industry right now. But then just choose a region around the world and you see a massive increase in investment. Transatlantic, throughout the Pacific, Southeast Asia, even through the South Atlantic, between Southern Europe, direct to Brazil, low latency routes like Ella-Link. I mean, this is a very, very good time to be in the market, I think.
Absolutely. Last one for you, another hot topic, spectrum sharing. What's your take on this?
So spectrum sharing, and again, it's our fault. We deliver so much capacity on a fiber pair. It's difficult for an individual operator to afford all of that capacity. So spectrum sharing is where you can divide up that fiber pair into more manageable chunks of spectrum. Now, when you do that, you have to be able to stabilize optical power levels in the cable. So there are certain things that you need to apply. We call it intelligent power management. And it is a way to maintain service stability while you're operating shared spectrum systems.
Great. Well, Geoff, thank you very much for your time this morning. It's been great talking to you.
Thanks, Harry.